Tap in. What's good? Sly Billionaire coming to you with Big City Fan Talk. So Big City Fan Talk is pretty much coming from a big fan, and I'm a fan of the Knicks. Like it or not, it is what it is. We the best of the best. I've been loving the Knicks since I was a kid, but I'll be coming to you with my thoughts, some pointers of the game, what went well, what went bad, all of the good stuff. And the more the channel grow, it'll be expanded. We'll be doing more big things or whatever it may be. So here we go. So I just want to give my take for game 5. Number 5, we have to come out aggressive. That's first and foremost. We got to come out aggressive. I'm looking forward to see what Mike Brown wants to do, because again, it just seems like every game they came out differently. Game 1 was different from game 2. Game 2 was different from game 3. Game 4 was I feel like was the best, because they came out aggressive. I felt like the Knicks knew what they wanted to do, getting guys involved, especially that first quarter. Everybody pretty much got involved or whatever. But it was good to see Mikal get a little aggressive too. I'm very critical when it comes to the Knicks, but I'm very critical of him, because we got him for 5 first-round picks. Granted, we don't know who we would have, brought in for the 5 picks, but still, that's very expensive for a guy who's not tapping into his potential. He showed some good things in the beginning, maybe the first 5 games of him being aggressive, being that defensive guy that we knew he was to be, but I just felt like he got complacent. But then came the Toronto game where he shared his thoughts and feelings of what was going on with him. And I took that. I was like, yo, I love that. He's holding himself accountable, but then went right back into the same, he went back into the same, the same funk. So it's good to see him being aggressive. We're not asking for much from him but to play defense. He stepped up. He stepped up game 4. He can do better. He can definitely do better. Yeah, it is what it is. But again, even with him, getting him involved early, we've seen he can go on little tears. I'd rather him start in the first quarter, second, because now we're starting to see. I was like, man, did even Mike Brown play him in the second half of game 4? I don't remember seeing him. I'm okay with that, honestly, but he's another body. But that means that Jordan Clarkson is doing his thing, and he's come a long way with us. It was like he was doing great up until the the mid-season tournament, which he was the guy. He was that guy for us. If it wasn't for him, we wouldn't have won that game. Then he just disappeared. Then he went on a tear where Brown benched him for a few games, which I didn't understand. It's playing time for everybody. Even when it comes to rotations and stuff, even when all these teams, we're knocking it down, we're going to only have 9 players. Man, it's situational. It's situational. And every player can get in, because at times Mo could have came in and defended McCullough. We needed a big guy on him. But again, look, now we got Josh Hart on him. And look what happened last game. Of course, McCullough going to cook. He going to do what he do. He's a vet. He knows he got his spots. And of course, if you don't take those away, he's still going to benefit, So prayerfully, we still make some more adjustments with that. And again, back to Mikal, let him cook a little bit just to get his confidence up. It's very important to, come in there with your confidence. So again, understand, if you're not rolling offensively, you got to step up defensively and be smart. Be smart and be together. So I'm looking forward to see, things with him. But again, we have 5 guys who can take over a game in that starting 5. I've been against, honestly, Josh Hart being in the starting lineup all season. I prefer to see Mitch and Cat together, because that's something teams really have to make adjustments for us instead of us making adjustments to teams. But the season went the way that it went, and we don't have necessarily a real backup. I would personally use Huck. Huck is tough. He's aggressive. he got a lot of work to do, but again, he's still a body, and he still can take on fouls if need be. You know what I mean? So I'm open to using everybody. So we have 5 players who could do something. You know, Josh does his thing. He's in and out. I just wish he'd be a little bit more offensive minded. He second guesses himself all the time, which I don't understand, except for when he's going to the basket. He's very good at that aggressive, like, football move where he, you know, plows into the player and then, you know, lays it up or do what he got to do. You know, and at flashes, he's the best defender in the league. And he proved that. He showed that in game 4. But we need that consistently. And OG, come on. You know, it shows. If you feed OG, look what we get. And it's like he can do that every game. He can do that every game. This man works so hard on defense. Reward him. Jalen don't have to take over the game every game. We have 5 guys who can do that. That's the blessing. And, you know, I got to shout out Leon Rose. It's more so the Knicks understanding their personnel on the court. They have to understand each other. And they still, to game 4, was trying to figure this thing out. It's so important to really be, I know I get it, they're adults at this point, you know, but when it comes to college, high school, you got that camaraderie. You learn together, you grow together, you know. But you got to want to do it too, because I can look at OKC. You know, them guys, they've been together, okay, maybe 3, all of them, maybe been together 3 years, 2 for Hartenstein. But still, he knows his role. He understands his role. And that's where I think, you know, that's why I know Mike Brown has to step his game up. And that's where Cat said from the beginning, I don't even know what I'm really supposed to be doing. That's crazy. That's up to the coach. You have to put your plays in place. But then also, again, as a point guard, which we don't have a starting point guard, Brunson is not a point guard. He's not a point guard. If we had that point guard, the point guard could really help put these guys in play. So I'm hoping, you know, we can next season try to find a bigger point, like a point guard. Somebody who could handle the ball, not be afraid to bring the ball up. You know, and bring the team together. And I think that's what it is. They're so used to standing around watching Brunson all the time. They just stand there, and it frustrates me because I'm like, yo, somebody cut. But when Cat have the ball for some reason, these guys know to cut. And Cat has to be more assertive. You know, I said that the other video, but yeah. So yeah, listen, we do those things, be aggressive, straight out the bat. We know our role. We'll be all right. I prefer Cat to run the point. He could be the Joker. Absolutely, he has the vision for it. He can do it. And I would love for him to do it. And put everybody else in play. You know, and again, JC come in. There's room. Yes, please continue to play Alvarado. I need Alvarado to be aggressive as well. Again, the first 3 games, you know, I know he was figuring things out, but he was playing pretty good, and then he just faded away. Like, he comes in a game and literally just tries to look to set up Cat, which ain't a bad thing. But what are you doing in the midst of it? You can score, you can shoot, which he hit a 3 the last game. Cat set him up for the 3. Yeah, but you could go to the back. He could do a lot of things. You know, I just need us to really believe who we are and do what they do. That's pretty much it. I tell you, nobody on the East could really mess with the Knicks, like, for real, for real. If we really just grind it out. Like, look at right now. Detroit might go down 3-1. That's the only team I'm a little like about. If they get bumped out of here, forget about it. Like, it's like destined. We supposed to make the finals. You know, if we don't make the finals, I don't know. But we're not gonna talk about that. We still on the first, you know, first series. But yeah, but that's my take, y'all. Like, you know, we come out aggressive, we play together. Understand, if we ain't on, pass the ball or set up for your other man. It's common sense. It's easy. Teamwork, team basketball. But that was my take you know, if I have anything else, of course, I will make me another video and I'll be right back here with y'all. But stay tuned for more Big City fan talk with Sly Billionaire. All right.